Hello and welcome, our blood viewers, to our today's news English edition. As usual, we bring to you the major and top highlights of tonight. The head of state receives the Turkish Minister for Foreign Affairs. Towards a strategic alliance to face global geopolitical challenge, Africa-Turkey summit held in Djibouti. And on the international scene in Lebanon, new Israeli strike on a border post, says the UN. Those were the major and top highlights. Welcome back to our newsroom, our blood viewers. The head of state, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Umar Egelli, received the head of the Turkish diplomacy, Mr. Hakan Fidan, at the Palace of the Republic mid-afternoon today. Mr. Fidan is on a working visit to Djibouti, where he will be taking part in the Africa-Turkey Ministerial Coordination Conference at the Kempeski Palace Hotel from 2nd to 3rd of November 2024. The audience provided Mr. Fidan with an opportunity to brief the President of the Republic on the implementation and application modalities defined by the Africa-Turkey Conference, with a view to stepping up the implementation of the strategic cooperation partnerships between the two orders. Discussions then focus on bilateral relations between the two countries, which enjoy fruitful ties of exchange and collaboration in virtually all areas of development. Social issues, education, health, agricultural, and the economy are just some of the key areas of cooperation between the two nations, whose volume of trade is estimated at around $500 million. Above all, Turkey is now planning to ratify a process of greater investment in Djibouti. During the meeting, the two parties also agreed to increase their level of exchange and security cooperation, given that they are both committed to stabilizing and securing the region in view of their respective stature as current chairman of IGAD and principal mediator in the dispute between Somalia and Ethiopia. In addition to the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mr. Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, Djibouti's ambassador to Turkey, Aden Hussein, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mohammed Ali Hassan, the Head of State's Diplomatic Advisor, Mrs. Fathia Jamauddin, and the Director of Bilateral Relations, Mr. Mahdi Absi Buh, took part in this event. On the Turkish side, Mr. Hakan Fidan was accompanied by the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Turkish Ambassador to Djibouti. The third edition of the African Turkish Ministerial meeting kicked off on Sunday morning at the Kempeski Palace Hotel. The meeting was attended by Djibouti's head of diplomacy, Mr. Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan, African Union Commission Chairperson and Mauritian Foreign Minister Mohammed Salim Ouled Merzouk, and 14 African countries. The summit, which is expected to be a milestone, aims to deepen economic, political, and cultural relations between Turkey and the African continent. The meetings were attended by foreign ministers or representatives of 14 African countries and representatives of the African Union Commission. The discussions are a part of an ongoing dynamic aimed at strengthening relations between Turkey and Africa. The experts present focused on key topics such as sustainable development, economic cooperation, and regional security, while striving to identify concrete solutions and recommendations to be presented at the summit. This conference represents an important step towards the preparation of the fourth Turkish African Summit scheduled to take place in 2016. This conference is an opportunity to strengthen the ties that unite our people and relation and build strong bridges together in a world characterized by profound transformations. Turkey has been a strategic partner of the African Union since 2008 and has developed relations with all African countries in many fields. Through the meeting, Turkey emphasized that it is committed to deepening relations with Africa. Turkey fully supports the fight against terrorism and continues to support local and regional initiatives aimed at promoting stability, capacity building, and trust across the continent. It should be noted that Turkish-African relations have entered a comprehensive, institutionalized, and systematic framework with the progress made in the phase following Turkey's action plan for opening to Africa, which was launched some 25 years ago. The Mauritian Minister of Foreign Affairs, Chairman of the Executive Committee of the African Union, delivered a speech praising the bilateral relations between Africa and Turkey. For his part, the Turkish minister explained that Turkey is a key partner for the African continent. Let's listen to him.
With a young and dynamic population, resources, and a growing market, we are witnessing that Africa is preparing itself for a greater role in the 21st century. However, Africa also faces various complex challenges, such as terrorism, inequality, adverse effects of climate change, underdevelopment, and irregular migration. These are global challenges, but are not bigger than Africa's achievements over the years. Committed to African solutions to African problems, Turkey launched a close partnership with African countries in the early 2000s. Turkey has been a strategic partner of the African Union since 2008. We developed our relations with all African countries bilaterally under a structured, systematic, and tailor-made approach. We also strengthened our multilateral relations within the framework of the African Union. We attach utmost importance to the stability of Africa and take the African security concerns very, very seriously. Unfortunately, the conflict in brotherly Sudan is approaching its second year, and the clashes are continuing with devastating effects for the country. We should not let Sudan slip from the attention of the international community, and we must act together for an immediate ceasefire and a lasting solution. In African countries, Turkey fully supports the fight against terrorism and continues to support local and regional initiatives aimed at strengthening stability, building capacity, and confidence through the continent. Turkey continues to invest heavily in the continent with its political, security, economic, social, and humanitarian capabilities. There is a strong correlation between security and development. Hence, Turkey is employing a comprehensive and holistic approach in terms of enhancing our trade and economic partnership with the continent.
The chairperson of the African Union Commission also in his speech praised the bilateral relations between Africa and Turkey. Djibouti's head of diplomacy, Mr. Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, also delivered a speech welcoming the delegations participating in the African and Turkish ministerial meeting.
This partnership is built on solid grounds. It is indeed quite remarkable to underline that thousands of African youth were trained in Turkey and acquired skills and competence in ICT sector. A number of initiatives in health, education, agriculture had similarly added value to our economies and enhanced the integration of our markets. Besides, we intend to promote strategic sectors such as mining, energy, tourism, and strengthen their value chain. Over 2 decades, the African Union and the Republic of Turkey have certainly come a long way in paving the way in front of this partnership based on the Agenda 2063 of the African Union and the SDGs 2030. Your Excellencies and ladies and gentlemen, given the global challenges of climate change, food security, and energy transition, we must adopt innovative approaches and focus on resilience, mitigation plans, and solidarity. Youth and women are the most affected. It is indeed paramount to put them at the center of our policies with greater inclusivity.
This morning, the People's Palace witnessed the launch of the new Master Plan Study for the Development and Urban Planning of the Capital under the patronage of the Prime Minister, Mr. Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed. The event brought together members of the government, representatives of international organizations, experts in urban planning, as well as civil society representatives faced with the challenges associated with rapid urbanization and population growth. Djibouti is committed to a project to modernize its urban space. The new plan for the development and urban planning of the capital aims to structure this expansion by improving the living conditions of the population and transforming the capital into a modern, inclusive, and sustainable city. The Ministry of Cities, Urban Planning, and Housing seeks to make Djibouti a regional model in the field of urban planning by investing in modern, environmentally friendly infrastructure. The new master plan for urban development and planning draws inspiration from international models such as that of Singapore and will direct investments towards quality residential areas, modern workspaces, and accessible public transport while promoting sustainable mobility. The new master plan for the capital's urban development and planning is a virtual step towards improving the quality of life in the city. In this context, the Ministry of Cities, Urban Planning and Housing, Madam Amina Abdi, then stressed the importance of collective mobilization for the success of this project, noting that it is a unique opportunity to transform Djibouti into a modern capital capable of meeting the needs of current and future generations. Also, for his part, the Prime Minister noted that the success of the new master plan for the development and urban planning of the capital depends on the commitment of the citizens. The President of the Republic, the President of the Republic of Mozambique, Philippe Nyusi, received Mr. Ali Hassan Bahdon, Minister of Justice and Prison Service in charge of Human Rights, Special Envoy of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Gelle, who handed him a message from the President of the Republic addressed to his Mozambican counterpart, Mr. Philippe Nyusi, concerning bilateral relations between the two countries and support for the Djiboutian candidate. Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Government spokesperson Mr. Mahmoud Ali Yusuf for the post of Chair of the African Union Commission. During the meeting, they exchanged cordial talks as on bilateral relations between Djibouti and Mozambique, as well as other topics of common interest. It should be noted that the Minister, Mr. Ali Hassan Bahdon's visit to Mozambique was part of the diplomatic campaign undertaken by the Republic of Djibouti to mobilize support for its candidate for the African Union Commission chairmanship, accompanied by parliamentarian Mahmoud Mustafa Tahir and Muhammad Ahmed Bouh, Deputy Director of the Bilateral Relations Department at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Let's listen to the speech of the Minister of Justice and Prison Service in charge of Human Rights, Mr. Ali Hassan Bahdon.
Positively surprised by the development, economic development, the constructions going on in Maputo. Messenger from my president to President of the Republic of Mozambique. We have a very fruitful discussion with the president, who received the message from my president, and I'm glad to say that we have a great and fruitful cooperation between Djibouti and Mozambique. My purpose is, the message was first to support Djibouti's candidacy for our Minister of Foreign Affairs is candidate to be the next chairperson of African Union. So we were requesting for support from our brothers from Mozambique, and we discussions about international and regional cooperation between Djibouti and Mozambique, not only in politics but also in economic development. This is my second visit in Maputo, and I'm very positively surprised by the development, economic development, the constructions going on in Maputo. That shows this country is progressing, is doing very well.
The Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Mustafa Muhammad Mahmoud, today presided over the opening ceremony of an international workshop on curricula and textbooks for education, which is being held at the Isla Grand Hotel in Djibouti from the 3rd to the 7th of November. The major international event brought together delegates from various countries including Egypt, Qatar, Seychelles, Burundi, Lebanon, Rwanda, and Ghana, as well as representatives from the International Organization of the Francophonie and the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO. The workshop was also attended by a number of government members, including the Minister of Higher Education and Research, Dr. Nabil Mohammed Ahmed, and the Minister of Women and Family, Mrs. Muna Usman Aden. During the workshop, representatives of the participating countries, along with local and educational experts, will exchange ideas and good practices and expand their knowledge on French language curricula and textbooks. Delegates participating in this international workshop were welcomed by the Secretary General of the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Mohammed Abdullah Mayoub, and senior officials of the ministry. Afterwards, the participants visited the exhibition of textbooks circular of the Ministry of Education, as well as textbooks presented by foreign delegations, reflecting the diversity of educational circular followed by the participating countries. At the conclusion of the orientation tour, the international workshop was launched and chaired by the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Mustafa Mohammed Mahmoud. In his speech, the Minister underlined the importance of this workshop, which aims to strengthen ties between the member states of the Francophone space by promoting a constructive dialogue on pedagogical and educational practices in French language education. The Minister emphasized the inclusive nature of this initiative, which aims to promote education that respects the linguistic and cultural diversity of learners. He noted that the exhibition facilitates collaboration between publishers, teachers, educational professionals, and educational institutions, calling for building a dynamic network of education professionals to support each other in their initiatives. For her part, the Minister of Women and Family, Madam Amuna Usman Aden, stressed the importance of the workshop, expressing her appreciation for the efforts of the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training and the International Organization of the Francophone in organizing this event. She wished success to experts and representatives of the participating countries. She noted that this workshop, initiated by the International Organization of the Francophone, aims to promote the exchange of experience and comparative analysis of circular and textbooks, as well as the preparation of a national action plan. The Ministry of Women and Family praised the efforts made by the Ministry of National Education to develop educational circular and textbooks. For his part, the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training noted that the organization of the workshop is of tangible importance at the educational and regional level. As part of a working mission to Djibouti, the WHO Regional Director for the Middle East, Dr. Hanan Balkhi, and her accompanying delegation continued the regional tour of the country's main health structures. Heading to the Obok region in the country's region, this field visit aims to provide an objective overview of the functioning of health structures, as well as the quality of the various care services provided at each level of the health pyramid. The regional director was warmly welcomed by the district authorities as well as the people, notables, and women of the district. Following the reception, the WHO regional director paid an inspection visit to the central camp on the outskirts of Obok, which has been sheltering a large number of Yemeni refugees who have sought refuge in Djibouti for years for the difficult situation in their country. As part of the visit, the delegation spoke at length with the refugees residing in the central camp, closely examining their living, economic, and health conditions, as their urgent needs. During the visit, the delegation visited the health clinic and the central camp school, which provides education to refugee children. The delegation then headed to the regional hospital to get a close look at the health services provided to the people of Hayu. This health structure is a medical facility that aims to cover the medical needs of the population in the region of the country. During the visit, the delegation was able to understand the extent of health reform undertaken by the government to improve access to care and the quality of specialized health. Shifting gears towards the international scene now, a new Israeli airstrike targeted the Jusiya, the Lebanon border between Lebanon and Syria. Humanitarian structures in the area were also damaged, according to a report by the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, which he posted on his account along with a photo to back up this report. Well, buddies, our blood viewers, we finally conclude this edition. Thank you for being with us, and make sure to tune in later as usual for more. Have a wonderful evening and take care.